Part 1, Virgin thought it was just a one-night stand, until she got pregnant for the Sterile scene. Rain poured over the city like a confession no one wanted to hear. Neon lights blurred across the glass walls of Apex Grand Hotel, and inside the ballroom, music pulsed like a heartbeat that refused to calm down. It was the kind of elite charity gala where the rich pretended to be kind and the powerful pretended to be humble. Emily Carter did not belong here. Her simple black dress looked elegant, but she felt like an imposter wrapped in silk. She wasn't here as a guest. She was here because her best friend, Lily, had begged her to fill in as an event assistant for the night. "Just smile, carry the files, and don't talk to anyone important," Lily had said. That last part was easy. Emily hated attention. But fate had a strange sense of humor. Because across the room, standing near the glass balcony doors, was the one man she should never have locked eyes with. Adrian Blackwood, CEO of Blackwood Holdings. Young, ruthless, brilliant, untouchable, and as tabloids often whispered, sterile. A tragic accident 5 years ago had taken away his ability to have children. The media had chewed the story for months before Adrian shut them down with lawsuits and icy silence. Emily knew all this because Lily never stopped gossiping about billionaires. But tonight, for the first time, she understood why women stared. He wasn't just handsome. He was dangerously magnetic. Tall, broad shoulders, perfectly tailored suit, a face carved with sharp lines and colder emotions. He stood like a man who controlled everything around him, including the air people breathed. Emily quickly looked away. But it was too late. He had already noticed her. Minutes later, her hands trembled as she tried to arrange the guest list papers. "Are you going to drop those?" a deep voice spoke behind her. "Or are you planning to keep staring at me from across the room?" Her heart stopped. She turned slowly. Adrian Blackwood was standing right in front of her. Up close he was worse. Intense. Observant. His eyes were dark, calculating, and yet strangely curious. I wasn't staring," she stammered. He raised one eyebrow. "You were." Emily's cheeks flushed. "I was just observing the guests." "And I'm a guest," he said calmly. She had no response to that. He looked at her name tag. Emily Carter. The way he said her name felt personal. Dangerous. "You don't belong here," he added. Her pride flickered. "I'm working." "I know," he said. "That's not what I meant." Silence stretched between them. People passed by. Music played. But for some reason, the world felt smaller, quieter. "Have you had a drink tonight, Emily?" he asked. She shook her head. "Good," he said. "Come with me." She should have refused. She didn't. The hotel rooftop was quiet, the rain now a soft mist under golden terrace lights. Emily didn't understand why she had followed him. She wasn't reckless. She wasn't impulsive. Yet here she was, standing beside the most powerful man in the city. "Why did you bring me here?" she asked softly. Adrian leaned on the railing. "Because you looked like the only honest person in that entire ballroom." She blinked. "And I needed a break from the liars." Something in his voice was tired. Not arrogant. Not proud. Just exhausted. They talked. About nothing important. About how she loved reading old novels. About how he hated crowded rooms. About how she worked part-time while studying. About how he hadn't had a real conversation in years. Time slipped. Rain turned into a gentle drizzle. And somewhere between laughter and silence, the distance between them disappeared. He looked at her differently. Not like a CEO. Not like a powerful man. But like a lonely human being. "Emily," he said quietly, stepping closer, "I don't usually do this." She knew what he meant. Her heart pounded. "I don't either," she whispered. That should have been the moment she walked away. Instead, it was the moment everything changed. The night blurred. A hotel suite. Nervous breaths. Soft hesitation. Gentle touches. No rush. No force. Just two strangers pulled together by a strange, intense connection neither understood. For Emily, it was her first time. For Adrian, it was the first time in years he felt anything real. They didn't talk about tomorrow. They didn't exchange promises. It was supposed to be just one night. A secret. A mistake. A memory. Morning sunlight slipped through the curtains. Emily woke up alone. Her heart dropped. The other side of the bed was empty. Cold. On the table beside her was a simple note. "Last night was a mistake. Forget it ever happened. Maybe." Her chest tightened. She felt foolish. Not used. She dressed quickly, left the suite, and told herself she would never think about Adrian Blackwood again. And for a while, she didn't. 6 weeks later, Emily stared at the pregnancy test in her trembling hands. 2 lines. Positive. Her mind went blank. No, this can't be happening. She had never been with anyone else. Ever. Tears blurred her vision. Her heart pounded so loudly she could barely hear herself breathe. She whispered the only name that came to her mind. Adrian? But that made no sense, because Adrian Blackwood was sterile. The entire city knew that. Doctors had confirmed it years ago. So how was she pregnant? She didn't want to tell him. She didn't want to see him. But she needed answers. And there was only one man who could give them. 2 days later, Emily stood inside the massive glass building of Blackwood Holdings. Her hands shook as she approached the reception. "I need to see Mr. Blackwood," she said. "Do you have an appointment?" The receptionist asked politely. "No, but tell him Emily Carter is here." The receptionist hesitated, then made the call. Moments later, her expression changed. "He'll see you." Adrian's office was enormous, cold, impressive, intimidating. He stood by the window when she entered. He didn't turn around. "I told you to forget that night," he said calmly. Emily's voice trembled. "I tried." Now he turned, and for the first time, his confident expression cracked when he saw her pale face. "What's wrong?" She swallowed. "I'm pregnant." Silence. Complete. Heavy. Adrian didn't blink, didn't breathe, didn't move. "That's impossible," he said flatly. "I know," she whispered, tears falling. "But it's true." He walked toward her slowly, like a man approaching something dangerous. "Emily," he said quietly, "I can't have children." She nodded. "I know. So this child is not mine." Her heart shattered. "I've never been with anyone else." Her voice echoed in the office. He stared at her, searching for a lie, but all he saw was fear, confusion, honesty, and something else. Truth. Adrian stepped back, running a hand through his hair. "This can't be happening." Emily whispered, "I need you to do a test." He looked at her sharply. A paternity test. The one thing he feared most, because if it came back positive, it would destroy everything he believed about himself. And if it came back negative, it would destroy her. Adrian closed his eyes for a long moment, then said the words that changed both their lives forever. "All right." And neither of them knew that the test would reveal a miracle or a disaster. If you want to watch the next part of this story, subscribe to the channel now, write "next part" in the comments and share it with a close friend. And like.